When you think about World War II, Bly, Oregon isn't the first place that comes to mind.
It's a site that very few people know about.
10 miles northeast of this tiny south central Oregon town,
Something had happened in the woods.
the war hit home.
When we tell the story, first we have to explain what a balloon bomb is. And when people hear that story, they find it hard to believe.
Using research from a Japanese atmospheric scientist,
Japan developed a program where they would put balloons aloft carrying these bombs.
floating an intercontinental weapon on the jet stream.
In Japan, they were known as fugo.
Translation, wind ship.
There were a number of balloons that were seen or spotted drifting around southern Oregon, northern California.
The goal was to try to set our forests on fire.
Torching valuable timber resources and sparking fear in a country at war.
We think about 9,000 balloons were manufactured and sent aloft.
Most didn't make it across the Pacific.
Some estimates of like 350 made it to our continent.
None of them caused the forest fires. That was apparently what the Japanese hoped would be the result of this campaign.
One came to rest near the Klamath-Lake County line. With it, the same death and destruction seen on foreign battlefields.
I got a little letter from my friend, who was my best friend, and she said, we're going to go on this little picnic and fish. She said, can you go with?
14-year-old Annie Patsky was invited on an outing with her friends from Bly. Saturday, May 5th, 1945. Pastor Archie Mitchell and his wife Elsie were taking a group of Sunday school kids on a day trip to the forest. Annie was all set to go. Her dad would give her a ride.
Then in the middle of the week, my mom broke her glasses. And he said, we have to go to Klamath first and get them fixed before we can go to Bly. And I said, we'll be late.
An errand that probably saved her life.
Elsie called back to Archie and said, we found something. And the next thing you know, there was a huge explosion.
A balloon bomb.
We went up the next day, shrapnel all around in the trees. It was really hard. Oh, I knew all of them. I knew all. I went to school with all of them.
While the folks around the Klamath Basin mourned, the nation was kept in the dark. No one wanted the Japanese to find out their devices worked.
The 6 lives lost up on Gearhart Mountain were the only 6 Americans who lost their lives as a direct result of enemy action on the U.S. mainland.
This is the site where it occurred.
A stone monument marks the spot where 5 children and one of their chaperones, who was 5 months pregnant, died.
Definitely resonates for importance across the country for historical significance.
The site became part of the Fremont-Waunema National Forest in 1996.
The shrapnel from the explosion embedded itself into the tree.
The Forest Service helped secure its spot on the National Historic Register.
So there's no shrapnel left in this tree, but it is witness to what occurred at this site.
There have been many visits there by family members of those who were lost. A number of times people from Japan have come. The monument itself is a very valuable piece of local history.
We were facing, relatively unprecedented fuel and weather conditions.
July 6th, 2021. The lightning-sparked bootleg fire takes off,
It moved a long ways really quickly.
threatening everything in its path.
Yeah, they didn't fare out too well.
Ray Driscoll lost a couple of his machines to the fire.
I have never seen a fire quite like this one. This one concerned me a lot of days.
He and his crew cutting line, trying to stop the flames.
People put their heart and soul into this one, but the conditions just made it unbelievably difficult.
We picked up a spot.
We just couldn't quite turn the corner on it.
Okay, thanks for the info.
We knew our next best bet was going to be the 34 road.
The 34 road, site of the Mitchell Monument.
We were sure it was fairly close and we were really concerned, but there's not much you can do.
The monument under threat of a forest fire. The very thing balloon bombs were set aloft to start.
It's irreplaceable, the things that are here on the ground.
We need to get this fuel break in.
75 yards from the shrapnel tree, we were just across the pavement.
They were wrapping it basically as embers were floating overhead.
They were laying it down while we were cutting underneath them, boy. There was a lot going on. They put on an air show.
a sigh of relief. Although it was wrapped, I was still very fearful.
When the smoke cleared,
It was a long shot. It was a long shot, but it was amazing they were at least able to save that monument.
a testament to the hard work of the fire crews and the upkeep to the area in the years before the blaze.
The fuels treatment work that had been done in the wreck site really limited all of this to a really low intensity underburn.
I was so thankful when those people were up there trying to save everything. We really appreciated that.
Many of us kind of made an assumption that the entire balloon bomb site would be burned over.
It's proven to work, and it's worked here.
This wrap that protected the shrapnel tree will be given to the Klamath County Museum. The fence will be repaired. A new roadside sign already ordered for the site.
There's a feeling, there's a presence about it that just lets you know that it's special.
We're honored that we were able to maintain and watch over it.
A memorial to those who died when the war came to the mainland.
It's fascinating to think about how so many people were affected by the war in places that you would never expect, and tragedy can find us anywhere at any time.
Outside of Bly, Steve Kaufman, Central Oregon Daily News.